said that. I said that. Just put them up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the late night talk show on City Lock Radio. Each and every Sunday, 9 to 11. I'm your girl, Miss Leash. And I'm Letitia, aka Legs Delicious. How you all doing? I hope you are all wonderful and bright on this wonderful, hot Sunday. Father, we thank you for blessing us and enabling us to be here today in the studio. We ask you to continue to bless us as we go about our way. We thank you for the joy that we receive every day that we are able to wake up and give thanks to the world before us. Lord, we pray that we're able to continue to live our lives in the best way that we want to live our life, to look after ourselves and to look after the people that are around us. Lord, we thank you for those who are ill, that were ill and who are now better. We ask you to continue to bless them, that they go about their lives in the best way possible. We pray for the families that are suffering. We ask you to help them to overcome the suffering that they may be suffering. We pray for the families out there right now who are victims or involved in some kind of way, shape or form, because there's many formulations in relation to the crisis that is happening in our community, as in the BAME community right now, Lord, but not just taken away from those that may not be part of our community, but I can only speak for what I'm aware of. We ask you to bless them and to give them the strength that they need to be able to move forward in this life. We pray for the family of the young lady that passed away, I would assume as a victim of domestic violence, and her baby that's in hospital. We pray for the baby and the baby's continued development to survive in this world that I could say is quite awful right now. Lord, we ask you to forgive us because we know what we may not do, but we do ask that all weapons formed against us shall not prosper. In Jesus' name, we thank you for City Lock Radio, and we ask you to continue to enable us to give good vibes and love and honour and respect across the airwaves and bring knowledge and education to the community. We thank you for a wonderful show, the late night talk show. And we thank you for continuous blessings as we move on in our way. Amen. 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 Okay, go for it. Let me get ready. I'm not set up yet.
Neither am I. So,
this girl, you know, listen.
So, people, what's happening? What's happening? How's your week been? How's your weekend? It's been a scorcher. It's been amazing. Not gonna lie, you know, like when everyone like complains and says, "Oh my gosh, London's so
shall
cold."
Always be my song of praise. Sorry, you just said amazing.
I know, you just sorry, people. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so you know, like people always say, "Oh, you know, it's London. We never get no good weather. We need some sunshine. We need some heat." When I tell you, right, I am
my sunshine.
Sorry. Anyway, as I said, so you know, like you always ask for this. When I tell you, yeah, I'm not complaining because I loved the heat and I enjoyed it yesterday. But that was some serious business. Like, serious. Like, I thought I was going to drop down.
And we was out in the sun as well, like at the festival. Big up Garage Nation, that's all still continuing right now as we speak, yo. I must say, last year I didn't get to embrace it the way that I would have liked to embrace it, due to one or two altercations that pulled me away not minutes after I left there, after I arrived there. But I tell you something, boy, woo! Can't wait for next year, boy.
Made up for it this year.
What? Listen, yeah? Trust me, like, it was peak yesterday. Seriously. Had a good time out there with family and friends. Well, probably more family, because I don't even know what friend I saw really to say. And anyone that I roll with is more or less family anyway, innit? So
very true, very true.
So yeah, I had a wonderful time out there in the scorching sun, as she said.
Yeah, no, that sun was some different kind of sun.
Listen, Linda.
Like, today's weather has been nice. Like, I enjoyed it. It was just more bearable. Like, thank you, God, for giving us the weather. Or whoever controls that stuff, thanks. But come on, like, take it easy on us. Take it. You know, we're not even used to it. You just come dash it all on us all at once. Like,
that's your fun with.
Yeah, no, but yeah. What did you get up to, people? What did you guys do this weekend? I felt like my whole chest.
I know it. Vibes, contact.
Stop. Sounds like it reminds me of like dinosaurs or something.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, it sounds like dinosaurs are coming.
Yeah, I just need to big up South Korea right now in the building, yo. South Korea. I mean, I thought Korea wasn't even allowed to be, you know, no disrespect to Korea, but Korea is one of them countries that they're not even allowed. Social media is like a myth.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you know, like I don't know if it's South Korea, but I know Korea has got like this thing where their dictator is a very dictator that he bans certain things and they can only watch or listen to things that is related to the dictator.
Oh.
Yeah. So even in some of their houses. Hi, Uncle. Pick up yourself, Uncle.
Hi, Uncle.
How you doing?
What uncle is it?
Uncle Owen.
Hello, Uncle Owens. How you doing?
So big up Dipalicious as well on board.
Big up yourself each and every time.
Big things going out there for Dipalicious right now. If you don't know, better get to know. Rock with the women, go with the flow. 1, 2, 3, and away we go.
Make Delicious on the microphone. Hey, hey.
Yeah. So yeah, check out Dipalicious Dips. You know, Amari McQueen doing big things out there in the young community, and I say young community because he is only 11 glorious years old, and for what he's doing at this beautiful age is just like wow factor. You know what I mean? It just shows that if you put your mind to something, you know, you can really get it out there no matter what age you are. The world is your oyster. You can do it if you put your back into it.
Oh, okay. The whole back.
You could, well, yeah. Maybe some up your back. But yeah.
Oh gosh. I forgot what I was saying now.
You were saying that you can do it, put your back into it. It's hot in here.
Yeah. Big up Lady Gold Rings, locked in, locked on each and every time. Big up yourself.
Big up yourself, sister.
Yeah. I forgot what I was saying. My head's gone blank. So guys, studio line 07947682053. That's 07947682053. Hit us up. Let us know that. What was that?
Sorry, that was me.
Let us know that you're locked in, locked on, and what you've been up to. So today on the late night talk show, excuse me, we've got a special guest coming in and we're going to be discussing some important things. Hit them with it. Next.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about IPP and the Aswad movement. So we're going to be talking with our guests what that is. We're going to have a phone in and we're going to have a guest in the studio as well. And we're just waiting for them to arrive. But basically, we're going to be talking about IPP. What is IPP? What does it stand for? What does it represent? And what it is that we're doing in relation to IPP. But also we're going to be talking about the march that we're having this Thursday, the 4th of July. And we would really like for you to get behind it and support it, because I'm pretty sure we all must know somebody in our life currently or previously that have been involved in the prison system. So yes, so we'll be coming to that shortly. But before we get to that, Miss Leash, one of the things that we was talking about en route was the and as I just said in my prayer, the young lady that...
Oh, yeah, so... I think she was found at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
A young lady in Fort Neath, Croydon was found stabbed. She was 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
They tried to resuscitate her in an air ambulance, and I think there was 2 other ambulance crews on site, but they wasn't able to resuscitate her. And she died, but they was able to
save the baby.
Yeah, they was able to deliver the baby, who is now currently in critical condition in hospital, but the baby did survive.
Praise the Lord.
They said a 37-year-old man and a 29-year-old man have both been arrested.
Oh, two?
Yeah, on suspicion of murder, but they've both been released.
Huh?
Yeah, they've both been released.
Oh, wow.
So there isn't much information into it, but yeah, the young lady didn't survive.
And she's quite young. I think she was 28 years old.
28, yeah. You think 28 is young?
Well, it's 28 old.
I don't think it's...
Would you say that me at 40 is that young? Was that old? Because when you was a kid and your mum was 40, you thought your mum was quite old, right? And maybe that's because she was your mum, or she is your mum.
No, I wouldn't say 40 is old, you know. I say, like, when you hit 50s, that's when you start getting old.
When you hit 50, yeah, but you know what? If you was going to live to 100, then fair enough, innit? There's no guarantee that we're going to live to 100, so...
In the average age about 80 or something like that.
Exactly, so 40 is half of the 80, which would mean then by
So you're still
40,
not old then.
you're starting to get old then, innit?
Yeah, so 50.
Because how many years are you old and how many years are you young? I remember when you get to a certain point in your age time, you start, they say, once a man, twice a child. Because you become a baby, you start off as a baby, you become a man or an adult, and then you become a baby again. So, unless we want to ration it out and portion it, so we say 3, 6, 9, or 25, 75.
I don't know. Do you know what? I guess you're as old as you feel, isn't it?
They say you're as old as you feel, or as old as the man that you're feeling.
Oh.
Well, for the ladies anyway.
What, the ladies that got them sugar babies?
Who's that lady?
Or Toy Boy?
Or Toy Boy.
Or
Cougar Mama.
Sugar Mama.
Sugar Mama. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? It's one of them things that... It's one of them things.
But yeah. So, okay, I guess you can say she was fairly young.
Yeah, she was young. I would say that she's young. And, you know, the fact that she was pregnant as well just makes the crime even more atrocious.
It's disgusting. She was 8 months pregnant.
She was 8 months pregnant. I'd like to think that... Well, not I like to think. I feel like it is a domestic violence situation.
Yeah, but you can't make assumptions. So.
No, I can't make assumptions. Well, I can make assumptions if I want to. But what I'm saying is... That's what I'm saying. I'd like to assume... Because I can't understand what would be happening at 3 o'clock in the morning for an 8-month-old woman, 8-month pregnant woman to be involved in what would she be doing at 3 o'clock in the morning at 8 months pregnant. Think about it. More than likely she was in her yard doing what? With somebody, isn't it?
He might have just turned up there. You never know.
What? So that would mean it would be a burglar.
No, maybe she knew the person. Maybe it was the baby daddy. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. So if it's the baby daddy, then it's domestic violence, no?
But what if it was someone trying to seek revenge against the baby daddy? Like you can't.
Well, like how you said, there's 2 men that's been arrested in relation to it potentially. Then that kind of says something different. But yeah, you know, it is something that we don't know, and we're just speculating. And so you have to speculate to accumulate.
It's mental.
It is. It's atrocious, you know. And then there was another crime, same kind of thing in America, whereby a woman was shot in her stomach by
Whoa.
Yeah.
And she's pregnant.
And she was pregnant. So I believe she was something like 5 months pregnant, or 3 months pregnant, or something like that. And she had an altercation with another woman, who it appears the other woman was seeing the partner, the father of her child. But the laws in that country, and the laws in a lot of American countries right now, is that they're against abortion. So what it is that she's not able to have an abortion. So they're saying that she got into this altercation with this woman purposely to cause damage to her child. So this woman, who they're saying defended herself by shooting the woman in her stomach, because the woman went to her as opposed to her going to the woman. Yeah, I know. She's been let off and not being charged, and the woman who was pregnant, whose baby was shot and killed in her stomach, they are holding her accountable, and she's been arrested.
What?
For manslaughter, something along them lines.
Of her own baby?
Of her own baby.
That is mental.
Yeah, because they're saying, like I said, they're saying that she went to the woman and caused an argument between herself and the woman. So it's like they're saying she did it on purpose so that something could happen, to the baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's extreme, because who was going to say she was going to survive being shot?
There you go. There you go. Big up yourself, Darnell. How you doing? May you be well and blessed. Big up Riley's dad, who says, "Me now feel Norman." Bless up yourself, brother. Hope you and the family is wonderful. AKA Riley. Yeah. So, you know, it's really disturbing, to be fair. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are in support of this woman, because they're saying no one knows what happened, in the sense of what was in her mind, why she had the argument. But you can imagine, if you're seeing a man and then you find out he's got another woman, you may potentially talk to the other woman to find out what's going on. We don't know the full ins and outs of who this woman was or the relationship that they know each other, but she knew enough to be able to go and speak to the woman. So for them to say that she did it on purpose and cause an argument, to then be able to, how would she know the woman had a gun to be able to shoot her belly?
That is mental. So I'm assuming that the gun was licensed then,
Boy, probably because the fact that the woman's been let go. Yeah, it's serious. America's a very I used to want to move to America, because it felt like the land of opportunities. But I'll be honest, I think I'll just stick, because unless you have to start something for yourself, I feel like you have to start something for yourself here in England first, and then go to carry it on in America, as opposed to go to America to seek that particular destiny. Don't get me wrong, it's not to say that you can't do it the other way around, as in go to America and seek that whole thing that you may be seeking. But what I will say is that it's very precocious, very precocious. So you have to really know what it is.
It's very what?
Precocious. So you have to really know what it is that you're doing to enable you to go out there and do this. So precocious means like...
You didn't say that. You said precocious.
No, I didn't say precocious.
You said precocious.
No, you putting words into my mouth.
I did.
Precocious is a word that is normal to use. The word
precautions is a word that is normal.
But I didn't say that word.
You said precautious.
No, I didn't.
What did you say?
Now you're confusing me. You got yourself Miss Brownberry, who is watching on the other side of town.
Yo.
Yeah. Big up yourself, Ephraim Tarak. How you doing? May you be well and blessed. So yes, Brownberry, where are you? Because I can't see you. Well, I can see your name. No, really. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot going on in America. A lot going on, and especially with this new administration, or he's not actually new in terms of Mr. Trump. Because even, did you see the thing that happened the other day whereby the man swam across the river with his daughter from Mexico, and basically he put his daughter on the other side and then went back in the water to go and get his wife. But the child, when she saw her dad go back into the water, she then threw herself into the water. Now I'm not clear how old the child was, why she did that, because I'm pretty sure the dad would have explained to her, this is what I'm going to do, so just wait here until I come back. But the child then threw herself into the water, so the dad then had to swim back to the child to get her out of the water, to save her. But when he went down to get her, he just couldn't get her, or he just knew that he wasn't going to be able to save her and save himself. So the two of them just ended up dying.
What?
Yeah. And because basically Mexicans, in terms of this whole border thing, they can't just come to the border.
Yeah, I know, but what are they swimming?
So they swim like a proper sea.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's I don't know what the sea is called that they swim in, but they swim across a sea that is an
ocean.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Some kind of ocean or sea.
What?
But it's not no Egypt.
Man was gonna swim all the way.
It's not like swimming from one side of the Thames to the other side of the Thames. It's like swimming down the thing. No, I wouldn't say he was swimming all the way to Mexico. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure whether you know what I mean. But what I do know is that he swam across with his daughter, and basically they died. But what it was is Trump's response in relation to that was like good,
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
This is why we have border.
That would come out his mouth, yeah.
Do you get what he was like? This is why we have a border. We don't want you here. You shouldn't have done that. Like whatever happens to you, kind of attitude. And there was no kind of regard to
their lives,
to their lives, and just the fact that they were doing so to try and create a better life. But there is these organisations that have set up, because what they're saying is there's a lot of people that are coming from one country to another to seek refuge in America. So what they've done is they set up these organisations to support them once they do get across, so that they can apply for refuge and stuff like that. But obviously Trump is against it and he doesn't want that to happen, so you know, he's trying to block it anywhere possible. So yeah.
Do you need this, baby?
Move what, this?
No, do you need that, baby?
No.
Feedback?
It's not that. But yeah, so you know, this whole racism thing that, you know, that we be experiencing, that, thank you, Ephraim, bless out yourself, brother. Hey Abby, how you doing? Hi Monty, how you doing, girl? May you be well and blessed. Big up yourself, Black British history. This thing that we experience, that we know that is called racism, you know, for us as a people, is really significant. And you know, even when you think that you've taken 20 million steps forward, it's like you take 25 million steps backwards, because it's like, though people see what we're doing and they want to take every different part of our culture and use it for their own interventions, they don't want to acknowledge where it's coming from, and they don't want to pay homage to us and who we are and what we represent. And you know, we're constantly berated for who we are and what it is that we represent. Do you get what I mean?
Yes, but what do you mean berated? You mean belittled? You and these words, bruv.
But berated is a word, though. So berated means like we're still cast, or we're still persecuted, or you know, we're still looked down upon. You know, it's all in that same kind of bracket. Because
I get what you mean, though.
You know, and you know, it's hurtful. I mean, for myself as a person, you know, I sometimes, you know, it does kind of affect me, and I just try to not focus on it, because I can sit there and I can cry for the sufferization that we suffer as a people, for the inacknowledgement that we receive, because I just feel that it's so unfair, and I just don't understand why that hate, thank you Ephraim, why that hate is so deep entrenched and so real. Like, we haven't done anything to you more than give you our lives. You've used us for your tests and everything that you need in your society to make your peoples the best people. And if I were to refer back to the film, what's it called again?
I know what you're talking about.
Get Out.
That's it, yeah.
Get Out. And if I refer back to Get Out, because I think it's the best example that can be used to show how we've been used as experiments, you know, in this society, especially in this modern day life. You know, it represents quite a lot, that film, you know what I mean? So I feel like, why do you keep on treating us the way that you treat us? Like, we don't deserve it.
You know what, for me, I totally hear what you're saying as well, yeah, but I think, like, it hurts more when it's like children that's affected by it. Like when they get their first, it's not nice to say, but their first experiences of racism, or someone says something and they come back to you and they're like, oh mum or auntie, this person said rare, and like they're made to feel away, and they don't understand why someone's saying something like that to them.
So like what happened on holiday?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain? So
a lot of things happened. So our niece was in a shopping centre and two men said...
So we was in Gran Canaria. We spent a week in Gran Canaria. We went on a family holiday. Go on.
Yeah, she was just in the shopping centre. She was doing her shopping and that. Her mum was over the other side, and two men called her a nigger. And she was like, wow, like nigger, wow. But she didn't say nothing to her mum till after.
She's 17 years old.
And like...
that was her first experience of racism.
Yeah. At
17 in a foreign country.
And then not just that, so like the little ones. So how old is Nye? 7, and Indy's like 3. There was like these puppet things called Bernie and Lola in the place.
Oh yeah.
And there was a point where they were selling like these teddy bear things. So there was like all the kids were coming around and whatever and saying hi, whatever, and like they gave out all the teddy bears to most of the kids that to purchase when they was like downstairs in the bottom of the foyer. But then when they went to go and get theirs, they was like, no, we must go upstairs, put them down, don't touch it, come upstairs and buy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then like,
so was they giving it away for free?
No, you had to buy it, so everyone was buying it anyway. And then when they went upstairs to buy it as well, the woman was like, don't touch it till you pay for it. Whereas the other kids were like just picking them up, and their parents were paying for them as and when.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't aware of that, and because Nyla was saying to me that she wanted the toy, and I didn't think anything of it because I just knew that, you know, the Lola and Bernie was there, and they wanted the teddy bear. But if I was aware of the fact that there was all that had gone on, I would have told them no, not to buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they didn't understand. But obviously, the mum and the aunt, but she could see what was going on. Even when we was in the dinner room, there was, you see, when they were going around saying hi to everyone, like the woman that was leading them purposely avoided our table twice.
Really?
Like I watched her do it twice until like the kids were probably like, no, I want a picture kind of thing. So then like they called her and made her come back.
Okay.
But she avoided the table twice. On that side, she turned around whatever and went to every other table, and then that way, and then she turned and went to every. I was just thinking like, they're innocent children. Like why are you being like that? Do you know what I mean? Like. That's the most hurtful part, I would say, of it, when children have to experience it.
And that's why it's important for us to educate our children, though. So
definitely. I
understand what you're saying, that the children didn't understand it, but this is, you know, we have to teach them from early their history. And even for myself, like I was just saying to you in the car just now, that I introduced myself to somebody, and my name is Letitia, and I find my name very powerful in terms of the name that it is. Even though growing up I didn't want to tell people my name is Letitia because I wanted to have a name like Sally or Karen or so my alias, when people asked me who I was, I used to say my name's Karen Williams, because I didn't identify with my name as Letitia because it was very black orientated. And so as a young person, I would say my name's Karen because my name didn't fit in with society, it didn't fit in with what I was aware of. So as I grew up, and that's quite interesting because even as I was saying it now and reflecting, my mum used to teach black history. We used to go to Saturday school, which she had, and we learned all of this kind of stuff. So why I still felt that way, because it was going to primary school, in terms of, you know, the setup. And don't get me wrong, my primary school had a lot of us black children.
No, I didn't even know your name was Letitia until I was old.
Well, you knew me as Tisha, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember what someone said Letitia. Who are you talking about? Who is that?
Yeah. So, you know, it's one of them things where it's only as I've gotten older now I've appreciated and understood that my name is very unique, and that there wasn't many people at the time that I knew that had the name Letitia. So it's only now that I've gotten older I've started to meet, like one workplace there was about 3 women called Letitia, which I found so absurd because it was like, wow, just about you can find one Letitia myself to find 3 in a workplace, all with the same name. So now I appreciate my name much more now. But even as I was saying to you, I introduced myself to somebody and I said Letitia, and was about to say Simpson, but then I said no, forget about the slave name, because Simpson is a slave name, and I know that I come from a big slave farm, which is where the name Simpson comes from. And I went to a meeting last week, and the meeting, one woman was in there called Simpson. I had a client whose name was Simpson as well, and none of these people are related to me. Do you get what I mean? Whereas my mum's surname, which is Pendley, I know that if I meet a Pendley, that person is actually family. But if I meet a Simpson, they're nobody. Do you get what I mean?
Nobody.
Not nobody, but they're nobody.
They could be any,
they're just any Jack and Larry. They're not.
I know a lot of Simpsons as well, growing up.
Do you get what I mean? Like, there's no correlation, but the correlation is that we're all derived from the slave farm that is known as Simpson.
Same massa.
The same who?
Massa. You know they say yes, massa.
No, you're saying, and I know what you're saying, but that's why I'm just checking because, I don't even want to mention that. So, my next thing now is to research back as far as I can to ascertain what my rightful surname is, and short of finding what my rightful surname is, if not, then I need to pick a name that I want to rename myself and add that to my surname to be known as that particular surname.
Like an African motherland.
Yeah, so I can pick whether it's Letitia Garner or whatever, just for word of example, you know, to have that as my surname. because that would make more sense for me right now to have that.
Wouldn't that be like depending on what tribe you come from or something?
Well, you can make it depending on what tribe you come from. You can make it whatever it is that you want to make it, or you could pick a name that means something. So you could say like Mother of God, or
the earth.
the earth, or do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can pick whatever surname it is that you want to pick to be your surname. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm at looking at my ancestry, because do you know that video? You've seen that video, and they keep sending it around still. Where it shows you they've got it's in a museum where they've got like 1 million names of the different slave masters and the ship that came, where the ship came from, where it sailed to, who was on it, how many people was on that particular slave ship. You ain't seen that video? You must have seen it. It came out about last year. I think it came out last year, Black History Month.
Don't think so.
Yeah, I got the video because someone even sent it to me the other day. And when I first watched that video, I started to cry instantly, because that video showed me that they are clearly aware of where they thieved the people them from.
Of course they're aware.
Yeah, but they've got it documented. So even like someone was telling me, because remember we was aware, we didn't get to watch that thing that was on BBC One on Monday, which I need to.
Was on BBC One.
So there was a show on BBC One about the secrets of the Windrush.
That should be on iPad then, isn't it?
Yeah, so you must have got a text about it because it was going around crazily.
No. Do you know what? To be honest, yeah, sometimes I just ignore things. I'm not gonna lie.
I won't even get into that with you right now.
Too much people send me too much stuff, so you know.
Well,
sometimes
like I said, you pick and choose what you want to pay attention to.
I just don't read nothing.
But what it was is, I haven't seen it anyway. Big up yourself, Angela Cuzzy, who's just sent me a message. I can't read your message now, cuz, but you can come onto my page and tell me what it is. But I just noticed you put up something about Ancestry DNA, which you and I both are on Ancestry DNA. I am on Ancestry DNA, and I did look up my DNA, and it did tell me there's 7 that I'm. My makeup is of 7 different tribes, which I can't, not tribes, but different cultures where I come from. Benin was one of them. Jamaica was like 7%, which Jamaica it's not really, it's a derivatory of whatever. But basically I did do that test. But one of the things that I found as well is that that whole thing is actually, we need to be careful when we're giving out our DNA, because they're using our DNA to find out different. Listen, I'm going from one thing to another here, but that's what happens on a late night talk show. But that DNA, so what happened now is I need to remember as well, please try and remind me that I need to contact the DNA Ancestry people and tell them they cannot use my sample, because what's happened is there was a thing that was put out the other day, a couple months back, which said that they can use our DNA and sell it to a pharmaceutical company for them to use it to do some kind of.
Then they have to get permission, because if they want all that data protection stuff with just your information, they should have that with your DNA.
Right, so what you have to remember is the small print, terms and conditions that we do not consistently read. And when we don't read terms and conditions because it's long and it's like 10 million pages of drama,
that's why they put it in.
We don't read it, but they put stuff in there which means that unless we opt out, we are then become victims of whatever it is that is within that information.
Yeah.
So therefore, anybody that's on the DNA Ancestry, unless you write to them and tell them do not sell my DNA to anybody else, they can use somebody else. They can so yeah. So if you do have your DNA on the DNA Ancestry website, what you need to do. Oh shit, don't know where it is. What you need to do is let them know that they can't actually use your DNA sample, because you do not want them to use your DNA sample.
What does Monty say something there?
Okay, so big up yourself, Monty Trackstar, who said, me and Josh were talking about this today, the subtle racism that exists and how Saturday school should teach us our history, but it barely exists now. And this is the thing, when we look at different cultures and how, i.e. the Nation of Islam or Muslim families, whereby they send their children go to the Quran school and they learn the Quran properly. By the time they're a certain age, they would have read through the whole Quran. They learn Arabic, some of them as well.
So you say the Quran school?
What? Why are you laughing?
Islamic school. Sorry, but that was funny.
Why is it funny though? You know exactly. Listen, you need to stop that. You know, because you know exactly what I mean by saying.
Like 2 seconds later, I was thinking, is she just saying it?
Okay, so Islamic school. Their children go to Islamic school, whereas our children don't go to any schools. We barely. So big up the Manhood Academy, who teaches young men, and they've also got the Female Young Woman Academy, whereby they teaching young children their rites of passage, how to become what it is to become a black adult in society. So they go through rites of passage that teaches them you to come from a child to become a man or to become a woman, and that kind of stuff. So just bear with me 1 second, please.
Big up DJ. That was like Black History kind of stuff. I used to go New Initiatives, which changed into Pyramid. I didn't just go on Saturdays. I used to go, it was like a youth centre. So we used to go in the evenings as well. But we used to have Black History classes there. And we learned a lot of stuff about, obviously, like where we were coming from and stuff like that. And it's true, there isn't much of those things around. And, you know, the youth these days, they don't know that stuff. Like, my kids only know, obviously, what I will tell them. And as much as I might have learnt when I was younger, I don't remember it all. Do you get what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's only so much, I guess, that I can tell them. I guess if I was really into it, what I should be doing is researching so that I can provide them with information. So that's a bad on my part, I'd say, where obviously I should be more focused into teaching them and learning them. But I'm not gonna lie, even school education stuff, I don't have the time, so that's why you get a tutor. So if there was more institutions that did stuff like Black History, I'll pay you and you can teach them.
Well, what I will say is that there is quite a few, but what it is that we're not putting ourselves in the position to be aware of it. So there's a Black History that what's his name does, Kwaku does a Black History class. It's in Clapham every Saturday morning.
Where?
It's in Clapham. I think it's the church opposite McDonald's. So they do a Black History class there every Saturday.
Yeah.
Even New Initiatives, which is now known as Pyramid, they also do a rites of passage there still for young black children as well.
I was going to say, do they still operate and open? Every time I'm always around there, it's always closed.
It looks closed, and it's looked closed for many of years now, but it is open. They have it on a certain night. I believe it's a Thursday night where they have their young people's rites of passage stuff that they do there. They do that. You have the Manhood Academy, which you can say.
I know that, but that's like other side of London, isn't
yeah,
it?
but then it's the other side of London. But I'm gonna put it on you now. If you had to go to the outside of London to go to a party, you'd go to the outside of London to go to a party.
Not during the times that is going on.
Well, not potentially, but you will still.
I did look into it, and it wasn't accessible in terms of times and where the location was.
But not that I'm putting you on the front page.
No, it's fine. You can put me on the front page.
But what I'm saying is, we make time for what it is that we want to. So I get what you're saying to an extent, but at the same time, it's something that's important for our children, because if you look at what's happening in our society right now, our children are just going crazy. Yeah. And I use that term not lightly, but I use that term because right now there's 30 odd people that have been stabbed this year. Now we're 6 months.
More than that. I swear it was like 67 or something like that.
Well, 67 people have been stabbed and 30-something people have been killed.
Okay.
So that's one person a month, one person a day, and past that. So that's for 6 weeks or 5 weeks. A person have died every day for 5 weeks consecutively. If you put it in that, yeah?
Break it down.
Yeah. So, you know, we need to really look at what it is. And yes, you're right, because I myself also grew up going to initiatives. Big up Paul and Ella. And, you know, Paul is now working at the Black Archives. You know, he's the head at the Black Archives, doing amazing things. I believe they even did a cycle to France this weekend to raise funds actually for the rites of passage thing that
they
did.
Who that took over? I can't remember his name, you know. He was cool after Paul and Ella. Cool. I can't remember his name.
It's some kind of K word, isn't it? Like Kwame or...
No, it wasn't Kwame though.
No, but it's not Kwame, but it's something along the lines of... It's like a K
Katwana.
word. Okay,
Katwana.
Katwana.
He was a G. Katwana.
So, you know, it's about, you know, and all it takes is Google. Put in Google and look at what Black History classes there is. So what my point was is that there is stuff out there, but we're not necessarily looking for the stuff that is out there in order for us to find it and put our
That's what I'm
kids in
saying.
there.
As opposed to when it was our day, like it was just there. Like it was more accessible. Like it was around the corner there. Everyone knew. It was
Yeah, but
there.
did your
These
mum
things
put
are no
you in
good.
there, or did you put yourself there? Because
I actually put myself there, you know.
Do you get what I'm saying to you? So it's a catch-22 as to the things that we're doing and the things that we're not doing. We have to take responsibility for what we're doing and for what we're not doing. You know, I heard what you just said about you don't have the time, but it's about finding the time. Because what I feel is happening for our children is that where our parents or the parents aren't finding time for their children, then finding that time with somebody else, which is how they're then drawing them in with the money and making them feel good, taking them out and doing. I'm not talking about you per se.
No, I know you're not.
But you know, like, okay, let's go McDonald's, or let's go Burger King, or oh, let's go shopping, and just the small little things. Yes, man loves you and all this kind of stuff. You know, there's small things and vital things. A woman said in a group that I'm in, the person said, because there was a block party that took place over the weekend, and I think 4 children were stabbed.
Whoa.
Yeah, so the block party had about 400 children there, or 300 to 400 children that was there, and 4 of them were stabbed. Bless you. And the youngest age child that was there was 13 years old. Bless you. So if we've got 13-year-old children going to a party,
See, that's where I don't play them games.
no, you don't play them games. But the reality is, think about it. Do you think that parent of the 13-year-old child that was there knew that their child was at a party?
In this day and age, probably. Not gonna act like when I was younger, I would lie and say I'm going somewhere else. So
Yeah, but you might have exactly. There you go.
To a little party, little rave, whatever.
There you go. So you could have said, you know, that child that was 13 could have said, "Oh, I'm staying at."
But in this day and age, I feel like these kids are just brazen. And
They
these
are
parents
brazen.
don't Really, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of these parents don't care.
I read an article about Dave. Yeah, Dave is an artist. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who's come up very quickly, and he's had a #1 album in a very short space of time, and his album talks about his life. And one of the things that I noticed in it is that he said his mum used to leave the house at 5 a.m. in the morning and come back at 10, 11 o'clock in the night because she was out there grinding for her family.
Yeah.
So he was isolated, and then what happened was he had 2 brothers. One who went to prison for murder, and the other one went to prison for, I can't remember what the other one went to prison for. But basically, when that happened, his mum then kept him under lock and key from the age of 11. He wasn't allowed to go out after school. But it took for her child to do that. Now, don't get me wrong, she was out there grinding for her family, for her to then lock him up, which is why he is the way he is now and why he's doing what he's doing. But what he was basically saying is that he didn't have that relationship with his mum. But now, obviously, things are different. But he just talks about that particular period of his life where, and that happens for a lot of families, whereby parents are going out. And I know it's very big in the African community where parents would go out from, have all 3, 4 different jobs.
To be able to take care of the family. Yeah.
There you go. Do you understand? And, you know, we have to look at that because them times is different from what the times are that we're experiencing right now. We're experiencing significant, and it's small things. And what the point I was getting to, which I then went on to something else, is that what a woman went out and spoke to the children and asked them, what do they want? And the child turned around and said, we want the elders to look after us.
What?
So the question was posed, how can we look after them?
What, at the block party? The woman asked the children.
Yeah, children from around, not necessarily at the block party, but from around the local area where the block party took place.
Yeah.
And some of the children said, we want the elders to look after us.
What do you mean the elders? So the older people, older kids on the area?
No, the elders. We are elders.
Oh.
So your
you
elders...
Sure that's what they meant? They didn't mean like they're elders.
I would assume that the person kind of asked them in that, you know, they would have asked them in that vicinity, you know what I mean, what they meant by that. But just from what they gave, because they're not going to give the whole conversation as to how the whole conversation went verbatim. But what they did say was, this is what the children have said that they wanted. But what I'm just kind of trying to get to is that time and time again, we feel that the children are doing these things because it's what they want to do, and not just because they're doing it because they don't have nothing else to do. Like, they want to be looked after, but because they're not being looked after, they seek that looking after from somebody else, which is what I was just saying, and which is how they're able to draw them in and get them into their...
In terms of looking after, you mean like attention kind of thing?
Basically. They want attention from their elders. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. Do you understand? Which is why we do I'm Inspired, so we can hear the children what it is that they want to do, so we can try and support them towards doing what they want to do. You know, so we may think that these children are out here doing these horrendous things because they want to, but sometimes it's all of that. A, whether it's an initiation. B, whether it's just that I'm part of this, I have no other choice, I've got caught up in it. I can't remember, there was a thing where they used to say ride or die in it, get down or lay down. So you didn't actually have a choice, because you're not asking me, you're telling me it's either one way or the other.
Yeah.
But none of the ways is anything good.
Yeah.
Because get down means join our crew, or lay down means if not, I'm going to take you out.
Yeah.
So you haven't given me a choice here. It's just the choice you're giving me is how do I want to continue to live my life. Do you get what I mean? So I don't feel like it's that much different now than what it was then, but it's much more, it is a lot more different then from how it is now, but it's just a different way they were saying it. We had question time the other day, and a woman was on there talking about the government, and you know what she said was very vital and it was important. But one of my things that, you know, I keep coming back to is we keep on saying the government, but I feel like it's not the government. The government has got a role to play, but what is the role that we have to play as a people, as parents, towards what is happening to our children? Where do we take responsibility for the fact that our children are going out there? Because if you have a child that's going out and you don't know what your child is out there doing, these kids that are going out there killing up, stabbing up and all these kinds of things, are you telling me that their parents know what they're doing and just not say nothing? Because how can you sleep at night knowing that your child has stabbed up this amount of persons, or your child is going out there doing this kind of lifestyle and you're keeping them their secret? Is that right?
Of course it's not right.
Do you know what I mean? As a parent, if you know that your child has gone out there and done something atrocious, would you not take your child to the police station and say, you know what, hand yourself in?
Boy, I don't know, you know, I couldn't talk on that one until I was in that situation.
Well, I wouldn't want you to be in that situation anyway, so we give thanks that we won't have to have that problem.
Trust me.
But the reality is that anything can happen. Children come from homes that are the greatest homes, and they still end up in certain situations for reasons beyond us that we just don't even know.
Big up DJ J Man. It says a lot of parents don't make time for their kids. The upbringing is totally different, and I think it's a case of us as black people are losing our culture.
And then and that's correct, but then also it brings me back to what is our culture? Because we were talking about culture in a meeting the other day, yeah, and what we were saying is your culture, where we talked about British children saying they don't have what is our culture. But for us as black people, what is our culture? What is it that makes us who we are?
Well, your culture would depend on your heritage background, no?
Well, it's a catch-22, because part of my culture is when you come into my house, you take your shoes off when you enter my house. So culture is not necessarily, culture is what
I
it
wouldn't
is.
say that's culture though.
No, but it is. This is my culture. This is how I live my life. So culture is a way of life and how we do things. There's things that come into it in terms of maybe our religion. There's things that come into it where we might say, okay, well, I'm just going to use stupid things here now. Like, well, I brush my teeth in the morning, I brush my teeth at night. That is your culture. That's part of what
Would
you
that
do.
be a routine?
It's part of a routine.
Or I get what you're saying though, but I'm just saying.
Okay, guys. So it's now. This is Late Night Talk Show. I'm Letitia, aka Legsalicious.
I'm Miss Leash,
and we'll come up to the ad break. So catch us on the other side of town. We're going to end the social media, but please come back in 10 minutes where we continue the conversation. And hopefully we will have our guests here with us so we can continue to talk about what it is that we should be talking about, even though I'm enjoying what we're talking about right now, but not from a positive side, but just because it's talking about our people to enable us to develop and so yeah, dress like yourselves, and we'll catch you on the other side of town, y'all. And please share. Please share. If you're on Facebook, please share the page.
It was loud, wasn't it?
So
it scared me.
Yeah, bless up yourselves, people. 10 minutes, yeah? No shame, you turned it off already.
Hey, send it up radio station. This is Caesar Connor just continue playing those good songs. Hey, don't touch that guy.
You're gonna say
Sit
lock back in 10 minutes.
Lock back in 10 minutes.
I'm trying to advise you know what the journey about, but it's a present. I want to watch that.